So Adam,
Yes.
that was a great presentation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Really enjoyed it. And I had a couple of questions I thought you might be able to answer in this atmosphere here. The deliverability issues that you faced.
Yeah.
What, describe for me how that worked. Was it, like I have Gmail.
Yeah.
So, and I have Gmail so I don't get junk, right? It
Yep.
goes to my junk folder. But you as a vendor, you don't want your emails going to the junk folder,
No.
especially to people who have opted in.
We
right?
absolutely need
So-
them in the inbox.
Right?
Yeah.
So was it that Gmail was sending them to the junk?
Yeah. So this past summer, so it was mid-August, huge, really busy time of year for us at Sleep Number. It's leading into Labor Day weekend, which is a huge sale period for mattresses. And we were adding 25,000 email addresses a day, right? So a large number of emails coming in. And when you're putting that number of emails out and you're kind of surprising the Gmails of the world with, wow, that's an uptick that we haven't seen in the number of emails that they're sending. So we're bringing all these people in. They start to see it as, this might be an issue. And maybe a lot of those people aren't necessarily reading those emails in that moment. And so Gmail will, through their algorithm, start taking your emails and throwing them into the spam folder because they say, well, this isn't right. And so for us, it was a big problem. But thankfully, we are throwing a lot of data back into our email service provider so that we can appropriately filter out and suppress some of these people from getting emails in the future from us.
Okay.
And so this idea of suppressing some of our non-responders to email, some of our inactives, people that haven't opened an email in the last 4 to 12 months, people that have just joined the list but haven't opened any of their first 8 emails that they've received. We started to take all these people out of the emails, and within a week and a half, we saw that we'd recovered, and now we were back from as low as 43% into the inbox with Gmail back up to 95%.
Wow.
And so it's all about that suppression and the filtering and ensuring that we don't include the non-openers into our
So
email
you were
stream.
prepared.
We were prepared, and it was all about a foundation of data in our system. And I think for us, that's of paramount importance. And that's why we have a dedicated data analyst on our team who's able to parse all of the data that's coming back from our ESP into our systems on our end, feed in more data points, throw it back to the ESP. So it's just a constant cycle. We're as up to date as possible on who our customers and subscribers are.
That's great. I know earlier you mentioned the different tiers of users and inactive users. Tell me a little bit more about that. The active versus the inactive.
Yeah, for sure. So we use a recency and a frequency model, and your recency and frequency can change on a daily basis. We have it split into new and mature. And so you can have new non-responders. These are people who have been on our list less than 4 months, and they haven't opened at all in that time frame. New inactives, they've been on the list for, again, less than 4 months, but they haven't opened within the last 3 months. So these are people that, hey, they got the email, maybe they opened their welcome email or promotional email, and we haven't heard from them since. And then our new actives, these are people who just signed up and they're constantly reading our emails, which is fantastic. That's what we want. And we also have mature actives and inactives. These are folks that have been on our list more than 4 months and who are either opening or not opening during that time frame. So it's nice to be able to tier people appropriately, feed that information back to our ESP, flag them in our contacts list, which then allows us to segment them appropriately for future emails.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can anybody do this, or is this just a retail thing, or?
No, I honestly, I think everybody should definitely be doing this. And the idea of an RFM model, right, has been around forever in the direct mail industry, and making sure that you're applying those same tried and true principles to email, I think is important. For us on my end, direct mail is very much a part of our communication strategy, and it only makes sense for us to pull in some of those learnings to our email program as well.
Great.
Yeah.
What were some of the key takeaways you learned from this almost disaster?
Yeah, I think for me it was just about, it was validation about how important the foundation was for us of our data. validation that we're doing the right thing as it relates to our tiers and our segments.
Well, Adam, thank you so much for being with us today and for explaining some of these wonderful findings that you learned during this unfortunate situation.
Yeah, right. No, but thank you so much. It was my pleasure. I appreciate it.